Hey everyone, it's your boy Captain Hunter from Captain Hunter's podcast. I want to start doing more of these types of videos so people can see my face, and so you can get put a face with the image, a face with the voice, and so we can kind of work together and make sure that we are doing everything that we can to bridge that divide between the police and the communities that they serve. I think it's very important to give the law enforcement or law enforcement officials perspective on a lot of things that are going on in this day and in this time. So, just as a quick brief, what this video is going to be about today is really it's going to be about this Michael Bloomberg situation. Now, this is not in any way myself endorsing Michael Bloomberg or anyone else in this election, whether it's the current president or any other um, personality or person who's running for office. Right? They got to win it on their own merits and everything like that. So I'm just kind of a spectator in this. But Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York City, has chimed in, and there's a new video that is being hailed across the internet. It's been taken off social media and traditional media, and so I thought I'd weigh in on it and give a little perspective on it. So I'm going to take this clip from Roland Martin Unfiltered, one of the podcasts that I watch. Or that I listen to. I listen to his podcast on audio versions, and also I check his podcasts out on YouTube from time to time. Now he took a clip from that was posted by another podcaster whose name is Benjamin Dixon. Benjamin Dixon discovered this audio tape of Michael Bloomberg back in 2015 at some Aspen club in which this particular person, in which Michael Bloomberg was overheard or actually recorded making some fairly derogatory statements concerning the African American community and his excuses for stop and frisk. So I think it's very important to take all that into context. So if you listen to I'm not going to play all of Roland Martin's the full 20-minute video that he does. I'm just going to play the snippet that is taken from in Roland Martin, because I'm taking it because there is a transcription at the bottom, and I think that that's important. So once again, this is from Roland Martin. Roland Martin is then going to have Mr. Dixon on. So let's check that out right now. So just bear with me for a second here.
February 11th, 2020, President Trump's deleted tweet is the latest example of his
murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25. That's true in New York, it's true in virtually every city. And that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that get killed. So you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in minority neighborhoods. So this is one of the unintended consequences is people say, oh my God, you are arresting kids for marijuana, they're all minorities. Yes, that's true. Why? Because we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why do we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them. And then they say, oh, I don't want to get caught, so they don't bring the gun. They still have a gun, but they leave it at home.
So here Michael Bloomberg is giving his excuse. Let me just resize this camera here. Give me, I'm still kind of new at this. So Michael Bloomberg is giving his excuse for stop and frisk. And this is what's caused so much of the animosity, right? When there is this perception that all black men, look at the language that he was using, all black males, or the vast majority of black males or young black men are between the ages of 16 to 25, right? This, as the mayor of New York, when he presents this, he presents this to his police commissioners, and police commissioners then present this to their first lines supervisors and officers, and this is something that permeates, um, dare I say it, the white mind, right? Whether you're liberal or Democrat, you have this mentality that this is what all young black males are doing. Next thing you know, that you're enacting policies that are destructive to the people. Now, Michael Bloomberg apologized for this, but sometimes it's just not good enough, right? An apology is just not good enough. How many black men did you throw against the wall? Not you personally, Michael Bloomberg, but how many black men were thrown against the wall on the direction of Michael Bloomberg and the higher ups of the NYPD? Not only there, but Chicago and Baltimore, right? Because there's this perception that that's what's going on, and that young black males are doing something now, or up to no good, or carrying guns, right? And so here we see a lot of different aspects of criminal justice and the need for criminal justice reform coming into play. How many, and they admitted, or Michael Bloomberg essentially admitted that this war on drugs, why are young black men disproportionately arrested for marijuana? Well, because there's this perception that more crime is going on in the black neighborhood, so you just throw them against the wall, you dig through their pockets and figure out and find out that they have more marijuana, or that they have some degree of marijuana on them. We didn't find any guns, right? But this practice, and this practice of throwing people against the wall is dehumanizing, right? We know that there is the levels of drug use and marijuana use is almost on par between the white and black population. Again, we're going to stick with the elements of of arresting people, or stopping them and frisking them, because there's a perception that they are more likely to be armed, which is exactly what Michael Bloomberg said. Is it true that people left their guns at home? We don't know. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You're throwing people against the wall. You were less likely to find any type of firearm on them, so you don't know who left it at home and who didn't have it at home. What we do know is that many people were arrested, incarcerated, humiliated, and the backlash from that, and the mental and psychological and emotional pain concerning being thrown against the wall when you know that you're not doing anything, or you're on your way home from school, you're on your way home from the bus, from playing basketball in the park, and you're just corralled by an occupying force, and thrown against the walls, and thrown down in the street corners, and thrown against the pavement, hands placed behind your back, and told you're not under arrest. You're just being detained for your safety and my safety, as they're placing handcuffs on someone and placing them face down is somehow protecting the police officer. This is crazy thinking. But this shows the animosity. This shows a level of animosity. It shows a level of not caring, perception about what's going on in these communities. And let me address what is going on in many of these communities. Many times we have seen, there have been many organizations, sometimes universities, who have studied the rates of stop and frisk, who have studied the rates of police officers targeting, ticketing many neighborhoods, minority persons being stopped and ticketed and searching minority communities well and above white community. And this is one of the rationales behind this particular reason. The LA Times did a story about this. The Chicago newspapers also did a story about this. State of Connecticut also did some work around this, and how many towns and cities are stopping, detaining, searching minority populations in comparison to the white population. And so let's just be clear that in many times, in many circumstances, they are directing, they being the mayors, the powers that be, are directing their officers to target places, communities where the crimes are occurring. Whether you like it or not, it's just true. Now, I'm not saying that, I still believe that stop and frisk was heavily abused, but that does not deter from the fact that I think that it is right to direct police resources to areas that are showing an uptick in crime. If robberies are happening on Main Street, then you send the police to Main Street, and from that point they should be targeting and ticketing people who are seen committing violations, right? Not just stopping people because they are stopping people because they are committing some type of crime, and so or a violation of motor vehicle law. Absent those, just walking on the street and you're being stopped and frisked for absolutely no reason other than you're in this neighborhood and you have and your dress is a certain way, and or your presentation is of a certain way, that is certainly unacceptable. Courts have ruled it to be unacceptable. So I have no problem with sending officers to any place, at any time in which neighborhoods and communities are showing an uptick in crime, not just simply impoverished, but an uptick in crime. This is where the crime is happening. And if you're going to do that, then the second point about this is you have to target people who are actually committing crimes and or violations. If that is not the case, then what you're doing, what they are being directed to do, is illegal and it's immoral, and it has eroded the trust between the communities and the police. Michael Bloomberg has apologized for this, and now because he's running for president is saying it was wrong. I now see the impact that it had. But during this taping, which was done just 5 years ago, 2015, was just done 2015. He showed no animosity. He showed nothing but animosity, no remorse at that time. He understood what he was doing. He understood that, okay, yes, when you throw this big net into the ocean, that sometimes you're going to catch the fish that you want, and sometimes you're going to come up with some dolphins, and sometimes there's going to be collateral damage, and that's okay. And that's not okay, because you destroy lives, you've taken people away from their families. You humiliated people. You've caused irreparable, in some cases, harm to the mental psyche of different persons. This is unacceptable. This is why many people are now not accepting Michael Bloomberg's apology. I, for one, am one of them. I don't feel that his apology was sincere. He would not have apologized to the Black community had it not been for him running for office. He would not have had apologized to the Latino community if he was not running for president of the United States. So this apology is half-hearted. I think it's insincere in a lot of ways, and I, for one, am not impressed by it in the least. So that's my little 2 cents. I just wanted to chime in on that. So make sure you follow me: Instagram CPTL Hunter, Twitter CPTL Hunter, and till next time, much love and peace.